Hello, this is the first part in a walkthrough for exercise 1 for the course Music Technology as a Research Tool. We're talking about analysis tools that musicologists use. So this is the first exercise that you're going to do for my section of the course. Here are the instructions, and you can find it in Moodle. What we want to do, we want to look at the same piece, the same composition, performed different ways. So we have a choice of 4 compositions, one that is called scary, sad, happy, or tender, and we have different performances of these pieces. So we have, let's see here, if we can look at them in the folder. I have exercise 1 here. We have a scary piece that is played angrily, scary piece that is played in a deadpan manner, scary piece played sadly, scary piece played happily, and other examples too. So each piece is played in those 4 emotional dispositions. So I want to look at the timing differences as well as the spectral differences, but here I'll show you the timing, how to calculate the timing differences of these pieces in Sonic Visualizer. So let's start by opening happy underscore happy, and we'll open it in Sonic Visualizer. And here it is, and we can listen to it by pressing the space bar. Okay, in Sonic Visualizer, you have this concept of layers and panes. So on the right side is where you can toggle through different layers of the pane. So think of the panes will appear like one on top of another. You see them more once you add more audio, but the layers are here. So here we have a very a pane that kind of controls the playback of the audio, and here you have a layer that tells you the color of the rulers. So this one turns to red, and over here you have the layer for the actual audio of the piece. So we can zoom in to the audio vertically like this, or horizontally like this. And other things we can do with the audio alone. Well, here, you can change the color if you like. It's kind of interesting here. You can adjust the level and pan. So here, if you want to get it just from, let's say, like from the left speaker. I don't know if you can tell it from my cheap speakers that I'm playing them through, but if you're listening to them with headphones, the difference, you can tell the difference much more clearly. And here, this is to slow down the audio, this knob down here. So that could be useful. And if we double click on this knob, we can enter the value that we want the playback to be. So let's put it back to 100%. That'll be its default. Okay, and up here you have some usual playback things that you can, that are pretty standard in any audio player. Here you can record your voice using a microphone, so if you want to have like a vocal annotation, you can add those as well. Here we can loop the playback. So let me just, which brings me to these icons here, which are the different ways to use Sonic Visualizer. So here we have the Navigate one, which allows us to move the audio back and forth. Here we have Select. If you click that, it allows you to select a portion of the piece, and if we want, we can constrain playback to this selection. I actually had that on. Let's turn it back on. And if I want, I can click on this and loop the playback. Sounds cool. And over here I have, get over there. These aren't working yet because these are for annotations. But here, this is kind of a measuring tool. So you can spread over part of the data, and it'll have the kind of the voltage or the volume of the data at this point and at this point. And it goes away when you take your cursor away from there. It also has the seconds that the selection is starting at. So this is for some fine tuning, fine investigation. So let's see if I can, I can take those out like that. And these up here, you can toggle through them. There are shortcuts to access them, and they're simply like the numbers at the top of your keyboard. So 1 through 6 will get them. But these ones aren't there because there's nothing to edit and nothing to erase. So let's go back on select. And now I'm going to add some timing annotations to it. So let's add a layer of, we'll add a new time instance layer. And now we have 4 layers instead of 3. This new one is the time instance layer. So let's make sure it's at the beginning of the track. And now I'm going to, as the audio plays back, I'm going to hit the semicolon key because I'm on a keyboard. If you're on a standard size keyboard, you can use the enter key on your number pad. But for me, I'm going to use a semicolon, and on a Finnish keyboard, you get the semicolon by clicking on Shift, comma. So hopefully you know what I mean. Let's play back the audio, and we'll add some annotations. Whoops, wasn't expecting that. Aha, because I have a very, very small selection here. And I have this on. That's not good. Okay, I think now it's better if I do this. Yes. Okay, so now I've gone through one run through of the piece, and we can see how I did. Probably not very well, but we can see how accurate I am. Well, all right, maybe not as bad as I thought it was going to be. So now, in case I want, I can do some manual moving of these time points. You see the time points are purple now. We can maybe change them to something a little bit more bright red, a little more apparent, and we can also change the way that it's shown. So now it's an instance. We can change it to segmentation, which makes it a little bit more, a little clearer of what we're seeing. So let me zoom in to here a little bit, and I'm going to move the first one because it seems that I was a little bit late coming in. So to move it, I would go to the pencil, no, the edit, yes, sorry, the edit one, and I will move it a little bit down here. And now I can tell where the note starts because I can kind of look at the area where the waveform begins. So I can go through this a little bit. This one I'm not sure what's going on. I can play it back. Okay, it seems that the violin player did something there with the bow, which triggered some sort of peak there. I guess I can move this one a little bit here, so a little bit early. But the idea is really to get the annotations on the beat, so that you have an accurate representation of the timing of the performance. And stuff you can do here with the annotations, when you're in the annotation layer, you can, now this panning becomes more interesting because you can pan it left or right. Oops. Yeah. I have to zoom it back in like that, and put it. We can even change the sound. So if you don't like tap, you can have bass. Unfortunately, these sounds aren't the greatest. I didn't find any of them particularly soothing. Cowbell? Try cowbell. Cowbell's okay. The attack's a little bit slower, so if you want to be really accurate, you might find cowbell a little bit draggy. Organ. Well, you get the idea. Let's go back to something that's not so pitched. Okay, now that I have the first performance, I want to add some more audio. So to add more audio, I would go to File, and I'll import more audio. As simple as that. Exactly what I wanted to do. That's what the file says. So I want, I'm not going to choose any of these scary or sad or tender pieces, but I want happy played in a deadpan manner. So I'm going to select this one and open it. And yes, here it is. And I'm going to do the same thing with this other audio. Okay, so now I have this one clicked on, and let's see what happens if I press. So now both are playing at once, which isn't very useful. So you select the pane by clicking here on the left. So for now, I'm going to solo the lower one, the deadpan one, which I think should work. Okay, and I'm going to add an annotation layer just like I did the first time. Where is it? Add new time instance layer. Oops, I thought I would hear those playing. Let's see what happens. Might be because I'm soloing that's happening. Let's see what happens. There's another way to mute panes or channels, and you can go like, well, let's see what happens if I play. Yeah, okay, so that's what was happening. This soloing actually solos the pane as well as the layer, apparently. So let me mute the top pane completely. And to do that, I'll click on this mute button here. And these layers are independent of each other. So I've only muted the audio, but I haven't muted the annotation layer. So let me go back to this one, and I'll mute it here as well. Now I should be able to hear my taps from the deadpan. Okay, good enough. And they're all synced up. Maybe I can have this segmented as well. I think last thing I'm going to show you in this video is how to look at a spectrogram. So I'm going to add a spectrogram here to this layer, and one here to the top layer. Yeah. And now you can kind of, what the spectrogram would tell us in this context is if the timbre of the violin changes from one performance to another. So it's the same piece, it's the same performer. So it won't change that much, but you might be able to see more clearly as notes are accentuated based on the emotion that the performer wants to use. So you might be able to see some differences in the timbre through the differences in the kind of the spectral information, the different harmonics that are triggered by, or partials, maybe the different sounds that the violinist is triggering by playing with different emotional dispositions. In the next video, I'll show you how to export the annotation layers and how to plot those in a very cool program called MATLAB. So, see you then.